Ashika. So let's start the interview session for today. My name is Shreya. I would be taking forward the entire interview, and we have been introduced earlier. So just to set the context, this session would go live on YouTube and on our media partners pages, where we would share in the invite to all the clubpreneurs. So welcome to the Early Birds Club, and the idea of the club is to engage like-minded people into a very strongly minded network wherein they are able to motivate themselves and uplift others for a better tomorrow. So today's session is our obstacle to opportunity drive. We have been doing this with around 10 to 15 mentors all around India, all from different backgrounds. The initiative has been driven by the Early Birds Club itself, and this initiative aims to be achieved through a series of interviews and webinars conducted by like-minded individuals who can always help others to overcome certain roadblocks and are looking forward to hold and build policy on some guiding principles. So this is the entire drive, and why we are here today is that we want to know from you how has your journey been so far, and you have been known to as a woman entrepreneur with your own certain background stories. So we would like to hear the story from you itself, so that this can also inspire many others who are looking forward to be an entrepreneur for tomorrow. So
True. Nice.
so Oshika, this is for our audience to give them a insight in who is Oshika Lum. So what from I know is that today's session is going to be around struggles and myths around women entrepreneurship. And since it is an all ladies counter today, wherein you and me are in a session, so I truly personally feel very elated interviewing someone who has been working through this field. So Oshika, we have introduced you to our viewers as an author, entrepreneur, business consultant, and you have also been a founder of Marketeers, if I'm not wrong. That has been a
Yes, yes.
recent organization. And but before we tell everyone about you, that who is Oshika Lum, we would like to know your journey so far.
Okay, great. So I think I'll just start with one very small line. Behind every successful girl, there's a father who trusted her and not the society. So that's something I always quote in my interviews. I think that plays a very important role. So I started my journey in 2000. So I was not into extra activities in my college time. I'm a pass out from GSS and Mary College, Delhi University, and a postgraduate from Lady Shriram College, Delhi University. I am currently doing my law. I'm an author and entrepreneur. So I started my journey in 2016, way back when I started my first venture, which was Marketeers. It's a marketing company. It was a 360-degree marketing and a branding company providing various solutions. And I also introduced the concept of youth marketing and campus ambassador programs for the first time in the convention of marketing. And this also, I'll give you a very small thing. Like I was just interning at a place by the name Epson, and wherein I was seeing at the way they are doing their marketings. कहीं ने किसी ने कहीं पर वो बड़े बड़े collaterals लगा दिए, किसी ने कहीं पर बड़े बड़े you can say वो लगा दिए banners लगा दिए, but I could see that their marketing is not leading to proper results and sales and brand positioning. So that's the reason I started in Marketeers, a new kind of marketing, which was basically called as the youth marketing, wherein what happens is that we make youth as a center attraction, and youth is used as a way to spread across messages in colleges. For example, if it's a Livon. Livon was a very famous oil brand at that time. So I used oil and made the girls the campus ambassadors and tried to do the activation in colleges. So basically, I introduced the concept of youth marketing. Then I did a lot of CSR activities, a lot of digital marketing, social media marketing, but my core focus was more into youth marketing and more into events and on ground activations. Followed by that, I also started when I was seeing it. So I was not much into events. So I saw a lot of problems in terms of events, and I could see that people are facing, people are not able to organize the events properly, primarily because it's a very unorganized sector. Therein where I decided to launch my company by the name Events Mosaic. It was a one-stop solution to your event services and event aggregator platform, basically for an event discovery and aggregator platform. That was the whole vision of the app by the name Events Mosaic, and I also raised decent amount of funds for that. Then again, I was basically basically my expertise then switched from marketing also to developing products which are problem solving. So I also developed a ERP system, and which was basically a school administrative problem system and software. And I've been into developing multiple products. So it was off late that I also, in the process in 2018-19, I also wrote a book by the name And She Decided Not to Give Up. It's a story which I'll be telling in the future questions. And finally, in 2019, I partnered and I started a company. I was a co-founder to a company by the name Kotek Management Solutions. It's a real estate advisory firm, and under which we developed a product which is basically Find My Cowork. It's India's leading search engine for workspaces. So as been a small brief, I've met people, good clients, good partners, and associations. And I think because of the family support, I have been here talking to you and sharing my journey. Yeah.
So there's a lot of personal engagement I see you have with your work, and which is a great thing because in today's time, what is the first thing which I think is the need of the hour is that people are inspired and motivated. If you are inspired to do something, you can always find a way to achieve it. So
True, true, true.
here we are back at my screen again, Oshika. Moving ahead in the session, is my screen visible to you?
Yes, yes.
Okay. So So you will see on my screen, please interrupt if you're not able to. We have here in front of us 20 leading entrepreneurs of India, right?
Yeah.
And I think this is where, are you able to see it on my screen?
Yeah, yeah. I can see
Yes.
very well.
So these are the 20 women entrepreneurs from India who inspire us to the core. And I think every girl out there is, they have a vision of, if they have a vision rightly placed, they want to be somewhere on this screen. So
Right.
from Vandana Luthra to Indra Nui, the co-founder of Myntra, women have inspired all around the world. But then we want to know from someone who has had her own journey so far, someone like you, that to know how we can debunk the myths which are around women entrepreneurs. Now, debunking myths, they have a very crossroads. They are on crossroads with the patriarchal society we are standing right now in. So you hear cases every now and then that uh, someone there has been honor killing in the past. There were brutality towards women in the past, and now this takes a lot of courage for any girl to step out of her home, open that right window, and reach out to see the sun. So when you talk about girls who are stranded at their own dreams, we want to know from you so that this gives them a lot of hope, Oshika, that what has been your experience so far? How were your
Okay.
struggles? What was the journey like?
So I'll tell you something. First of all, when I started, it was in 2016. I just tell you something that it is not easy to be a woman entrepreneur. Although I had 100% support from my family, but even then, being a woman entrepreneur is not that easy. It comes with a lot of struggle, a lot of baggage. See, one thing is that paise nahi kamai is one side of stigma. The other stigma is that since I personally, if you talk about my experience, my biggest struggle was my age. I was a young 22-year-old girl who ventured out. That was one struggle. Secondly, being a female, it's actually what happens is we very rarely see women entrepreneurs, women-led startups. We basically see women with a man, husband and a wife partnership done, but we rarely see a single woman leading a company. So I was a single woman who was leading a company. That was a very big struggle that I had to face in the process, and I this was one of the biggest struggles that I had in my that I had in my journey. That was one thing. Secondly, the second struggle was that it is often said that women cannot be good leaders. We are perceived to be less go-getters, and we are more seen to be as working at the backside and more towards the execution side. But I think that was something that I also used to face. People used to take me lightly. So basically, two struggles which are very very common. One was that ये तो लड़की है इसकी तो शादी हो जाएगी and she not be able to prove herself. Secondly was तो लड़की है पता नहीं कर पाएगी नहीं कर पाएगी लीडर बन पाएगी नहीं बन पाएगी कहीं ऐसे ही ना कर रही हो. And of course, and third comes from that you're taking less seriously being a female. Generally, you are taken less serious, and I was taken. There are episodes wherein my seriousness, one because of my age factor, second because of my apart from my age factor, second biggest problem I used to face was that being a gender bias was always there, and we are in a society where patriarchy is practiced, and there is a problem. However, yes, I also feel that if your journey is supported by good men, and if you get to interact with good people and good partnerships and good associates in the journey, then it becomes easy. But as a female, it is not easy to lead a company. It's extremely difficult because doing business is very tough. And being a woman doing a business seems to be even more tough because even today, we as women are not perceived. लोग कहते हैं लड़कियां अच्छी leaders नहीं होती, but I think it's a very, very wrong myth. I think girls are the best leaders. They are multitaskers and I think superwomen. And they can actually, I will not say I don't want to compare with men, But yes, I think we are as able as men, and rather we are a complementarity of complementarity is the word I would like to use for men and women. So hence, women as a struggle is still there, but I think women are excellent leaders and they are good. They're very good in whatever work they do. Yeah.
So, Oshika, was there sometimes in your time that your experience was taken as your attire to present something? Like you were expected to know more, but then whenever people used to ask you your age, they used to be taken aback by your
Of course.
knowledge. So
Of
it
course.
must
They
have
used to
happened
take
a
it less
multiple
seriously.
times. Yeah.
Yeah, this happens. They take it
So
less serious.
this is what is the core problem today, that when you talk about struggle of a story, I think every story is built by a struggle, the foundation is struggle. But then after so many years where you are today, I am sure you must have many aspirations for the future as well. But then where you are today, you see yourself as a woman who has grown, who has outgrown herself every day, right? So in my everyday experience, if I speak to you as a woman, then I get to learn and unlearn every day. I need to learn a few things and I need to unlearn a few things every day. Because when I go out, I meet certain kind of people, I meet certain kind of persona, I come across certain kind of personas who are driven by, who are motivated by gender, who feel proud that they are a man. And then I have to always counter them with something that would surprise them. So it's very great to know that there is someone out there who has been living her dreams, and it is great to know from you yourself that what has been the journey. Now, since we are talking about gender right now, there is a when you talk about women, Oshika, there is a this is a very, as per McKinsey report, it was said that women are the most vulnerable, and they are known to have a very high emotional quotient. Apart from IQ, they also have a very huge emotional quotient. Now, do you feel that does that makes you any less kind of a leader in a business? Now, where do you put yourself, Oshika? I want to know from you. Are you an emotional person or you are not?
Okay, so I'll tell you something. First of all, being emotional is not wrong. That's what I strongly feel, and one should be emotional. Before talking about my own self, I'll talk in generic. Girls are considered to be very emotional, right? And I think that's something which is we are mistaken. As much as we know that girls are very emotional, girls are emotionally very strong. Whenever you see a setback in a family, it's actually the woman who stands like a spine as a pillar of strength. The family is supporting, male is supporting families. I see every day at my home. My mother being working, she has to look after me, my sister, my father. My father just breaks down in between, my sister breaks down, I break down. But as a lady of the house is actually emotionally so strong. So as much as we say that women are emotionally very emotional, they're emotionally very strong as well. That's the first thing. Secondly, coming up to my reason, yes, I am emotional. Of course, emotions are very, very important. According to me, emotions are very important in business also. When you're emotional, you tend to have this quotient that you have certain kind of attachment with your company. Your passion is associated with your venture, which is very, very important, which motivates you. That's the first thing. Secondly, it's very important to have a roadmap of your company. Then through emotions you are able to link well with your customers, then customer satisfaction also comes in, and then most of it your quality deliverable, your customer satisfaction, the feeling customer is god, all this is associated with emotions. And according to me, yes, emotions are a very important factor. And if you ask me, इमोशंस ऐसा नहीं कि अगर इमोशनल है तो पैसे नहीं कमा पाएंगे. It's a very common myth that is there, but it's not like that. For example, I strongly feel, yes, I am emotional. With emotions you are able to consider a team as a family. You're able to work together. You are more joint and you're more collective in terms of your efforts. That's the first thing. Second most important thing is, apart from being that, there's one more very, very important quotient, or one more important factor that I would like to state here, is that women are, like I said, emotional quotient is I have, it's present in me. And I think because of this emotional nature only that I'm able to possibly see my team as a family. I'm able to succeed in whatever I want to do. And last is just one thing, it's just being emotional. There's nothing wrong in that. People are emotional, and I think it's according to me, if you ask me, I would want to create my emotions, create a kind of passion for me. With passion I'm motivated, and I strongly want to create a value adding product or a value adding company with a good atmosphere, culture, family oriented values amongst the employees, and that surely I'm sure will lead to success and money. So I think with emotions, nothing bad to emotions. It's very good to be emotional because emotions keep you balanced.
You know, Ishita, with this, this reminds me of a recent statistics which was done, a survey based on a survey on Indian entrepreneurs, that companies which had women leaders leading their way and always playing on the forefront, they were having 22% more customer and employee satisfaction. Number one. Number two, they were able to give more value, more return on investment to the company.
True, true, true,
Because
true. That's very true.
I feel where that makes us stand today is that when you talk about organizations wherein there are women entrepreneurs who are leading the market, like
Mm-hmm.
Mintra, like Coco Channel, even for in that case. So
Mm-hmm.
when you talk about them, they have a lot of value addition not only outside the organization but inside the organization as well. As a woman, you are able to be more empathetic. You are able to relate more to the people around you, and you are able to see everyone in the same shoe. So this is what
True.
not only makes us vulnerable, but they also make us strong. So this is a very strong value addition point. So this is
Mm-hmm.
where I see us. So thank you so much, Oshika, for the insight. Moving ahead, so patriarchal conditioning. So yesterday there was a Supreme Court judge who tweeted his verdict on the rape, on the Hathras rape case, saying that, making certain comments which were very gender specific, though he wanted to show his intent as that he wants to condemn the convicts, but then he was condemning the act and also becoming showing that this is how we have been conditioned to react to certain situations which are involving women. Now, this also
Mm-hmm.
brings us to question that women are always considered as enablers or supporters or someone who are always behind the back, who are always supporting everyone around them. So it is also a very famous statement that if I iterate it, that behind every successful man there is a woman.
Mm-hmm.
Now, if you see what this statement brings out is that this brings out a certain kind of mindset which revolves around women entrepreneurs. So when you see a
Right,
woman wearing formals and walking into an office, you always see that many eyes are turned, and there's certain
right,
exchange
right,
of
right.
glances. People want to know that who is she, what she will do next. They have certain kind of expectations, and someone don't expect a lot. So now, when you talk about this, what do you think that what needs to change? How we can become from, how we can convert the table from a visible men room to an invincible women.
Okay. So I'll tell you, first of all, I'll tell you three things about women. First of all, women are great leaders. Secondly, that's very important in a business setup to be a good leader. Secondly, women are very good in multitasking. They can do multiple jobs perfectly with utmost perfection. And thirdly, they are very good in terms of social networking. As in, if you see that हमेशा मम्मी को याद रहता है कितने बजे किसका बर्थडे है पापा की साइड के रिलेटिव होंगे मदर विल ऑलवेज रिमेंबर फादर मे फॉरगेट all these three things, first of all, are very, very important when it comes to business, social networking, multitasking, and great leadership skills. And all these three things are very much prevalent in women of today. And women have always been, they are considered to be good leaders. And I think that's the reason they can be good. They can lead good businesses as well. When mindset needs to change because I have a different school of thought because I haven't been suppressed by anybody so far who has stopped me from doing business. So according to me, it is not that behind every successful man is a woman, but I think is also a good thing that I would like to inculcate is that behind every successful woman also there are many men who trust her and who are able, for example, your female, your father, your business partner, your friends, your associates, your clients, all these men will support you because I have been fortunate enough, right from a good father to my cousins, to my friends, and then to my associate and to my business partners, then to everybody have been very, very supportive and have helped me to grow as a woman entrepreneur that I am. So I think the mindset needs to change because it is already changing. According to me, as much as it is behind every successful there is a man. I think that behind every successful woman also there are multiple men, and there is a change which I can see in the mindset is already changing. People are, yes, it's slow. The change is gradual because overnight you cannot have change. what I strongly recommend is rather than changing the mindset, try to inculcate the concept of complementarity, which means that men and women both should be given a chance to complement each other. But I don't know what is this feminism that is happening. If we are bent upon saying कि women better and men better hai. I have a different school of thought. I feel both of them are equally important. If one is the muscle man, the other is the spinal cord. So, and both of them are equal important parts of the body. If one is the mind, the other is the brain, and it will fluctuate. So, according to me, rather than putting it across कौन किसके पीछे successful है, I think the mindset should be both men and women are equally responsible, and that's what we should inculcate: equality, not superiority. We should try to encourage and try to spread this word of complementarity. Yeah.
True. And Oshika, what we today, even the new education policy, it extends the theory of equal opportunity to all. It means
Yes.
that everyone in the society out there, every living soul, they should get a chance to go ahead and learn something for themselves. They should get a chance to not be driven by a women or a men specific role. They should all be given a gender specific role. That means that
Also, I would like to interrupt here. What I see is that ऐसे भी नहीं करना. These days I see girls crossing their boundaries and trying to just taking advantage of being a female. It's difficult for males, a lot of male entrepreneurs and male owners to actually hire a female. डर लगता रहता है कि अब केस कर देगी, सेक्सुअल हरासमेंट का केस हो जाएगा, ये नहीं बोल सकते, ऊंची आवाज में बात नहीं कर सकते. So even girls are overpowering. So it's better that we start encouraging this concept not of superiority and feminism, rather basically we should encourage the concept of complementarity amongst genders. It will surely help in making both of them are responsible for each other's success and failures. Both of them are responsible for each other's success, whatever may be the case. So we should try to really inculcate this concept of complementarity.
true, Oshika, and I agree with everything you said.
And also,
And
there's one more. Sorry to interrupt you. I would like to interrupt. Is
no,
like
please
what we
go
say
ahead.
is even biologically also we see certain things that men are considered to be more. They are because like there are a lot of things which are hormones which are prevalent in males which make them more which more dominating. And I think and females did some. This is the beauty of nature. Rather than cursing it all the time and considering yourself inferior, try to take a golden thing out of it. Because see if they have a dominating or if they are certain kind of genes that the men or hormones that males have, when I think females have females have a tendency to give birth to somebody. I think that's a very noble thing. The reproductive system happens from the female. Both of them are equally important, but it's the female who gives birth. So when we say कि males को disadvantage हो रही है, we forget about the advantage that God has given. That women can become mothers, men cannot become mothers, right? So let's try to understand the beauty of nature and encourage complementarity, which will surely change the ratio of women entrepreneurs and will motivate women rather than demotivating them.
Absolutely, Oshika. And I think that this knowledge has been taken ahead and it reaches to masses, and people are able to interpret this the way it should be. And while we embrace this thought, a very insightful thought indeed, I want to know from you, Oshika, that through your journey, what you found, that what are the four top myths that prevail even today while we are talking of an equal opportunity environment, and what are your thoughts to defy this?
Right. So you can hear me, right?
Yes, I did.
Okay. The first one is that लड़कियां leader नहीं बन सकती but executor back से काम कर सकती. That's the biggest myth that I've seen. I think I've been a great leader and I am not boasting about myself. I mean, I'm standing here, so I'm talking to you people. Secondly, women leadership, according to me, women are excellent leaders, great multitaskers, wonderful when it comes to execution and management of team, human resource, customer satisfaction, employee satisfaction. Women do very good. Specifically, if you say the human resource, which is the most important part of any company, generally females lead it. It's because of the same reason, only because they are very good in terms of leadership, understanding, empathy is very good in females. So all this makes it a very good leader combination. So I think that's a wrong myth. Secondly, लड़कियों से accounts के काम नहीं होते. लड़कियों से I have been doing accounting. I've been from a humanities background. I've been doing all sorts of things, and I've been in my companies. I've been running investment banking to making pitch decks, to make projections which are hardcore account receivables, gains, and I'm not from a commerce background yet I was able to do it. So it's a cut and myth that girls can't do maths and accounts. Third one, I think it's like that लड़कियों से technical काम नहीं होते हैं. Again, I would like to say I am going to define it because I run a company which is hardcore technical and it has a product which is tech based. So I think I'm pretty good in that, and I've been able to develop the product. I've been developing multiple products. I'm not from a BTech. I'm a girl, and I'm not only coding, but yet I'm able to do a very. I'm pretty good in terms of product validation, product conceptualization. I'm doing it pretty well. So that's the core of it. So that's the third myth. Fourth myth is that कि लड़कियों की शादी हो जाती है and they will not be able to give time to their work and everything. I tell you, what my focus is girls talk a lot, but they are excellent in terms of hardworking and giving you results. If given me a choice, I would always want to hire a girl. Yes, girls come with certain problems like you have like the pregnancy leaves and etc. But that's a very later stage. These days, none of the girls are getting married without and leaving everything and just becoming homemakers. I'm not undermining any homemaker, but very less girls are just focused toward becoming a homemaker. Every girl is doing something or the other. So this mindset कि लड़कियों की शादी हो जाएगी और वो काम नहीं करेंगी, शादी के बाद हमें नुकसान हो जाएगा, is all not right. It's not right. Every girl is having an independent life these days. Every girl wants to become successful, and I think all these four sums up to just one thing. The worst myth is that the girls cannot be good leaders. I think girls are excellent leaders, multitaskers. I think four things in a leader is important: multitasking, then social networking, then it's empathy, understanding the other person, and I think I think all these three things are very prominently, very much seen in females, and I think that's what I've been a good leader, and I think I will surely want to walk the same path and become successful in life. Yeah.
True. Thank you, Oshika. And Oshika, it's also, this reminded me of a very recent development which has happened. That you would see that, even the Supreme Court, even our law system, they have been encouraging women to work from home. Like, I have seen many organizations who are extending leave, who are extending work from homes to, pregnant ladies who are extending work from home. Even they are I'm not able to, remember which organization which recently announced, I suppose, a 4 day leave, a leave based on the menstrual cycle where they would be getting 4 days extended leave every
I
month.
think the better way out should be what better way
Yes,
should be. What I am seeing is most of the organizations are giving fathers also leave for 4 weeks. After
yes,
that's something that should be encouraged because that leave is going to be will convey a message of equal responsibility rather than having leaves on menses and menstrual cycles and all these things. It's better we start giving leaves to fathers also once the kid is born. So the father also realizes the pain a girl or pain a wife has to go through, a mother has to go through in giving birth to the kid, followed by bringing up a kid is not that easy, and that will also felicitate the importance of homemakers. So that is what,
yes.
yeah.
True. And this is the kind of equal opportunity environment if given. If this is the form of a liberating thought which comes to every organization in India right now, I think there would be more and more networking which would be encouraged, and there would be more people like you and us and everyone around who want to motivate women to be their own owner. So I have seen
True.
even I heard a story of a daughter and mother duo who started cooking from their home, and they started a very small tiffin business in Bangalore. And once they started it, it has now become it's giving them a revenue of 1.3 crore every year, and this is huge. They started from a very small kitchen, so that's what is being said. A woman only needs an idea on her plate, and she will make it a business out of it.
Great,
So
great.
that's why women are the most, these days, every woman entrepreneur who is leading on the forefront, they are thinking on their side of the struggle as well. So
True, true.
now when so this is a very interesting thing which I wanted to know while I went on your site and I did a background research on you. This is your book, Oshika, and I think every time you look at it, it gives you goosebumps. So and she decided not to give up. I would like to know that is it your own journey, like how you decided to write this up and why you decided to do so?
Okay, so basically, yes, this is my own journey. It's my autobiography. I've written this book, and the book talks about the Basically, it talks about just a second line. Okay. Okay, the book talks about a journey of a young girl who has to go through a lot of odds in her life, starting from, you can say, from her childhood, when she was a victim of child abuse to sexual abuse, and then unfortunately she fights across all the battles and she starts her own ventures and she's successful enough. So yes, it's my own story. It talks about how in life battles come, how in life circumstances are bad, but one should not give up. One should try to keep focused. If you have conviction, if you have focus, then you can lead in any journey. And it's life. Life is a beautiful ride. We should actually take life as it comes. Yes, struggles will come, obstacles will come, but never give up. So the journey revolves around my own story and just talks about a girl, how it's important not to give up in spite of all the odds. So if I start giving up on the circumstance that I had to face, for that matter somebody else goes through the same thing, then the life would have become difficult. Rather emerge as a winner, fight out, don't raise your voice always, but yes, fight out your battles and emerge as a winner, because everybody is, destiny is beautiful, life is beautiful. So we should actually overcome all the battles and always emerge as a winner.
So, I would like to know when you first launched this book. So I would be also putting in the link for each of our viewer to go ahead and purchase this awesome book. I would
Sure,
to
sure.
give it a read myself. So now I would like to know that what was the reaction which you faced from the market when you first launched the book?
Okay, so first of all, honestly, the reaction has been pretty good, but reaction from family has been pretty average because my mom never was not too comfortable in me publicizing the book too much, which is evident. She does not say that, but it's evident from her body language. But honestly, the book is not for sale purposes. The book was just to give a right message to everybody that yes, life with circumstances will come which are going to be difficult, but as a young girl, as a teenager, you should keep your goals intact and focused. So there has been a very good response to the book. Like most of the people have loved the book and have been saying that hum relate kar pa rahe hain. And they are pretty much they have been reading, and it's been a good motivating book for everybody. The idea of book is not to my idea is not to earn money out of book at all. My idea was just to pass a positive message to everybody. That's it.
So Oshika, you once so being a vivacious reader myself, I know that if a reader is coming up to you and telling you that हम relate कर पा रहे हैं, nothing compliments more to a writer.
Yeah, that's what people tell me. It looks like a real story. So when I try to hide also initially, but then it comes out on face because they are able to relate it from my actions and my possibly my body language or my way of talking, my conduct and my journey. Yeah.
So now, just to have a very positive context, I need to know that what do you feel that what is in what order we should embrace if you talk about having a vision, power, support, or validation. What
Okay.
order would you
So
choose?
okay, so if you have vision, right, if your vision is right, then support will automatically come. That's what I strongly feel. Once you have support means you have been validated by a lot of people. And when you're validated by a lot of people, automatically power comes to you. So it's going to be vision, then I'll say support, then I'll say validation, and then power. All the power should not be last. It's a byproduct. If you have a good vision towards doing something, automatically people will support you. But you should have that faith and conviction should come from within yourself. That a vision is strong enough. With support, you will get valid. People will start validating you. First, people will start liking you, or will start saying this is right. This should be done this way. And with validation, you get the power. However, according to me, I personally feel although women have this tendency of getting themselves validated all the time, that's why we emerge weaker. This habit of validation is there in females, which is very, very prominent. But I think girls do not need validation. We are very, very able. We should not focus on that. So as the base and foundation, as your vision is correct, I think everything falls into place, followed by support. We will support you. With support comes validation, and with validation comes power. So I think it's all a byproduct of each other.
Thank you so much, Oshika. I think everyone now, I would also say as being on the other side, that I'm able to relate. So this is a compliment for you. I'm able to relate. And with this, as we wrap this section, thank you for your insight, Oshika. Welcome on board as a clubpreneur with the Early Birds Club. We are really looking forward to collaborate with you and bring
Sure.
us on the table a lot of insights which are there. we are here to share knowledge, right? So we would learn something
Right.
from you, and there are many others who would like to learn a lot from you. And
Sure.
as we are going to record this session and we are
Sure.
going to air it, so once this is on air, this will be with our media partners, New Sense and Hamara India Incredible. They are our media partners. Our mentorship
Wow.
partner is My Startup Yatra. So they have been leading the journey since many years now, and they have been helping across 100 companies to grow and mentor. And this is the
Wow.
kind of support we are looking from you as well, to
Sure,
reach out to
definitely.
multiple people. We would be attaching a link to your profile as well, on all our videos and press releases, so that people are able to reach you out directly and they're able to connect with you. They
Sure.
question you and they're able to get guidance from you from your journey. And
Sure,
let's
sure,
grow
definitely.
together. And thank you so much, Rishika, for your time and consideration in giving this
Perfect.
interview. Thank you so
Thank
much.
you so much to all of you, and thank you to Deepthi also for joining in. She was a small
Oh,
support.
yeah, hi
Yeah.
Dikti. I couldn't see you, but I am sure you look beautiful. But yes, I would definitely appreciate that anytime if you want to join any of our other sessions, you're more than welcome. You,
Yeah,
Oshika.
sure, definitely. Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you so
Dikti.
much. Bye bye.
Thank you,
Take care.
Oshika. Thank you so much for your time.
Bye bye.